Google told millions of people to put glue on their pizza. It got the idea from a joke.
I want you to imagine being so confident, so utterly certain of yourself, that you'll cheerfully tell a stranger to eat rocks, not as an insult, as nutritional advice, delivered calmly, helpfully at the top of a search results page to hundreds of millions of people, several of whom presumably trusted you enough to at least consider it. That happened. It was Google. And I promise you, the actual source material is funnier and stupider than anything I could invent. May last year, Google rolls its AI Overviews feature out to essentially its entire American user base. Hundreds of millions of people, a Gemini-powered summary, sitting right at the top of search results, answering your question before you'd even clicked a link. Convenient, efficient, confidently, spectacularly wrong on a fairly regular basis, right out of the gate. Someone searches how to get cheese to stick to pizza better. The overview, with the calm authority of a system that has never once doubted itself, recommends adding about 1/8 of a cup of glue to the sauce. Non-toxic glue, to be fair to it. Glue, where did that come from? A joke. A Reddit comment over a decade old where someone was being funny about pizza glue, the way people are funny on the internet, and everybody in that thread understood it was a joke because there was actual human context around it. Artificial intelligence had no such context. It saw text describing glue and pizza in the same sentence, decided that pattern was answer-shaped, and repeated it as fact to a total stranger with a genuine, unfunny question about cheese. It gets better. Someone else asks how many rocks they should eat, presumably as a joke question, expecting a sensible response, and the overview earnestly tells them rocks are a good source of minerals, at least one a day. That answer traces back to an article on The Onion, a satirical news site whose entire purpose is publishing things that are obviously deliberately untrue for comic effect. The system lifted a punchline and served it back as dietary advice, because nothing in its process ever asked the one question a 5-year-old would have asked. Wait, is this source being serious? These weren't obscure buried edge cases you had to go hunting for. This was the default front and center experience for a huge chunk of the internet's most heavily used search engine for actual weeks before Google finally admitted the guardrails weren't there and scaled the feature back. Here's the part that should actually bother you more than the individual jokes gone wrong. This wasn't a hallucination in the sense of the system inventing something from nowhere. The advice was real. It existed verbatim, in Google's own index, written by real humans, for a real comedic purpose that any human reader would have understood instantly. The system had access to more human-written context about the world than has ever existed in one place at one time, and it still couldn't tell a joke from a fact, because telling a joke from a fact was never actually the thing it was built to do. It was built to find patterns that look like good answers. A confidently written joke and a confidently written fact look, structurally, almost identical. There's a control aimed precisely at this gap, and it isn't about the individual output, it's about what went into producing it. Annex A, Control 7, Data for Artificial Intelligence Systems. It covers the quality, provenance, and suitability of the material a system draws on, and a decade-old joke and a satirical news article are exactly the kind of source material that Control exists to flag before it ever reaches a user asking a straight question in good faith. Nobody appears to have asked at any point in the pipeline whether text that sounds confident was actually the same thing as text that's true. It isn't, and it was never going to be, and hundreds of millions of people found that out for free, one search at a time. So here's the dare. Next time a summary at the top of your search results answers a question instantly and confidently, spend the extra 4 seconds clicking through to an actual source before you act on it. Confidence costs the system nothing to produce. It should cost you more than 4 seconds to trust it.